I'm not even wearing pants yet. And you're telling me Mixer is shutting down with no warning to any of their partners? What the?
Obviously, I had to make a video about this, but there's just so much going on. In case you missed the news, it was announced today that Mixer, the streaming platform that was the chosen one successor to Twitch, or competitor to Twitch rather, is announced that it's shutting down effective July 22nd. There's only a month left in the entire platform's life. For all of the reports I've done on Streamer News about their growth not being as much as they wanted and all of this, I didn't really anticipate them just shutting down so quickly. And not even just shutting down, they are actually being absorbed into Facebook Gaming. They're shutting down their own operations. Facebook Gaming just bought out their rights and I guess their technology and their streamers, and there's a lot with that. And it's pretty crazy. They have a couple FAQ posts and a whole article up on the Mixer blog about it and about what's going on. If you are a partner on Mixer, you will be registered as a partner to Facebook, and you will have partner badges and things like that. And if you're in Mixer's general monetization program, which I didn't realize existed outside of partnership, you will be grandfathered into the level up gaming program on Facebook as well to have monetization available there, which is different than partnership on Facebook too. All of that's to be expected. I will say if you're a streamer and you're considering moving over from Mixer to Facebook with a new contract involved, have a lawyer who will look over your current contract with Mixer and the contract that Facebook gives you and really look over it and make sure you're not being screwed, because it would be really easy for Facebook to just throw in some ever so slightly, tweaked, less than desirable terms in that contract that you may not have expected to end up with. And then when you end up on Facebook, you don't exactly have the same experience or the same freedoms as you might have expected on Mixer. In fact, I don't know that Facebook Gaming's partnership contract allows for you to stream other places. They might have an exclusivity clause. They might have different terms. You want to make sure that's looked at. They are completely shutting down operations over at Mixer. Facebook Gaming is absorbing everything, and that includes the potential for their bigger partners. Both Shroud and Ninja were offered to negotiate with Facebook for potentially even bigger contracts, like double what they were potentially having made from Mixer, which has now been confirmed. Ninja made $30 million from the Mixer contract. Shroud made $10 million. And not only that, they just got paid out that money. This is, as this one tweet points it out, this is literally, they had stipulations in their contract, and they seem to be the only two, because they were the only ones notified ahead of time, even above employees, which we'll talk about in a moment. But they had stipulations in their contract that said, should something go south with Mixer, they would be paid out their full contract in full when that happened. So way sooner than expected, they just got paid out the rest of their contract. They could just retire and be set for life, or they could go back to Twitch. Currently, they are free agents. Ninja has already put out a tweet saying he has some thoughts to do and stuff, so they're not immediately jumping back to Twitch. I know both of them enjoyed certain aspects of having a smaller community on Mixer, but you can kind of see that Facebook might not be the right choice for them. Both of them said no, and there is a lot of dislike for Facebook overall. In fact, people are already really concerned because a lot of us, myself included, were kind of championing for Microsoft and Xbox to develop a more natively integrated Mixer streaming experience into the next Xbox console, because it was kind of not super there. Like the PlayStation Share functionality was way better than any of the Mixer integration into the Xbox One. And I thought they would do that. I honestly thought that would be their way of kickstarting some more Mixer support and really taking it there next generation. Instead, that might mean much more in-depth Facebook integration into the Xbox, which a lot of people are understandably not super happy about. There's a few people who lose here in this situation, big time. The obvious winners are Ninja, Shroud, potentially a couple other of their bigger partners that they contracted over, and of course their brand agency or talent agency, Loaded, as they just are laughing all the way to the bank at the moment. And that was initially what many of us said about these contracts, was they were potentially not super great for Mixer itself because they weren't bringing over quite as many viewers as perhaps everybody expected, but it was going to make Ninja and Shroud and so on a whole heck of a lot of money. So it was really great for the people who got contracts, not great for the people who couldn't get contracts, and not great for Mixer itself. But they're the real winners here. The problem is everyone else involved in this situation are pretty much screwed. First and foremost, you have employees of the company, both higher ups and partner managers, things like that. People who were probably dealing with the current onslaught of both gender-based issues at Mixer, because there's been a lot of that coming up, and the whole current streaming Me Too movement that's coming out. There have been some tales about Mixer staff and things like that in general. Plus, they were just dealing with a whole backlash literally a day ago about racism issues, and a bunch of people were calling for specific employees to be fired based on some serious racial problems that came up through one person of color's experience working for the company. No one else was like, they were all probably trying to figure out how to deal with the PR of this. And then suddenly they find out that that was pointless because they're not even going to have a job. That's really not cool. Apparently, plenty of partners, plenty of employees, including both low level and some higher up, literally found out from the official Mixer account tweet announcing that they were leaving, which is never the way you want to find out you're out of a job. That's always the worst possible way. Which does give some potential merit to the idea that perhaps they rushed this. Like Facebook was kind of like, all right, because obviously these deals take months to happen. It took a lot of negotiation. A lot of things went down in order to get from Mixer running fine to Mixer's now part of Facebook. That takes a very long time. But perhaps what happened here was Facebook saw the PR storm brewing and was like, we can't have that, as because that's very common with company acquisitions and stuff. If a company does something to ruin their like PR as they're being acquired by another company, the company that was acquiring them can be like, yo, we don't want you anymore. That's not cool. And so Facebook could have been like, all right, it's time to push the button and do it now. You're only getting 30 days, like everyone's only getting 30 days notice, which is really, really fast for these kinds of shutdowns. And everyone involved there got screwed. Again, if you want to move to Facebook from Mixer, that's fine. But a lot of people don't like Facebook. And what I think the untold story here is, although people are talking about it, but untold from like the bigger picture talk about this and from the companies, are the medium-sized creators. Think about a like 50,000 to 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel that's really just starting to get serious about it, and YouTube just pulls the plug out from under them. And it's just like, YouTube's gone. What do? They're not at the size to have a multi-million-dollar contract to back on. They don't have a big enough audience to just be like, I'm going to go here now, and everyone floods that location. They basically have to start over. Moving your audience across platforms, as plenty of people found out when they first jumped ship over to Mixer and then tried to come back to Twitch and all of that. Moving your platforms, migrating them between platforms is very difficult, very exhausting, and not always super successful. So then to be stuck in this situation where you have to do it with only 30 days to do it without any prior knowledge, it's just really awful. And these aren't people with contracts that are going to pay out or anything like that. Yeah, they have the option of monetizing over on Facebook, but that doesn't mean they'll make any money from it because their audiences may not come over. Most people don't watch on Facebook. In fact, that's a big issue when it comes to, oh yeah, you can just come monetize on Facebook, is Facebook gaming and Facebook streaming as a platform doesn't do so hot. Like there's already been years, like a decade's worth of examples and explanation of, in order to even reach viewers on Facebook, you have to pay to reach your own audience. You have to pay to advertise your audience and have your post seen, and then you have to pay to have your post seen from the people who actually liked your page. Growing a Facebook page can actually be very difficult if you're not willing to put money in and you don't have a very large or super mainstream accessible audience off platform. So for a bunch of streamers to come over and just start streaming, Facebook's going to see an influx of a ton. We're talking probably thousands if people actually move over instead of just, they might all go back to Twitch, but an influx of hundreds to thousands of zero viewer streams, which is going to look bad for Facebook too, because that's what was looking bad for Mixer. But Facebook isn't doing so hot. ESL tried moving all of their, they did a deal with Facebook to do all of their tournament streams over on Facebook, and no one watched. The numbers were horrible. The experience is honestly not super great on Facebook. They have a lot of back-end stuff that's actually really nice, and I wanted to dive into it sometime soon, but the experience over there is not always the best. And so it's not like that's just like the best platform for everyone to jump over to. People should definitely take the next couple weeks to decide on that. But the mid-tier creators are just stuck. They're screwed. They didn't get any prior notice. They don't have anything to work with. They just have to be like, please, guys, come back to Twitch. Please, come back and follow me on Twitch. What are viewers supposed to do there? What are creators supposed to do with that? Meanwhile, at Twitch, there's a lot of trying to hold Twitch accountable going on for their own issues with prejudice and racism issues and sexual assault allegations and all this other stuff that they've continuously failed to do over the years of being held accountable for it. And they're dealing with their own backlash. And actually on Wednesday, there's a big call to have a Twitch blackout where nobody streams or watches on there to try to get them to listen to these issues. So it's not like it's a super desirable place at the moment. There's been issue after issue over the past couple of years cropping up with Twitch as well. So streamers are probably just scratching their heads at the moment, not really sure what to do. This is a great opportunity for YouTube gaming to really kick butt and step things up some more. But I don't know that they're going to do it, especially if they weren't prepared for this to happen. Almost really upsetting. It reminds me of when MMOs shut down. If you go to the top streams, at least at the moment of recording on Mixer right now, of course, there's the obvious sad fact that the top stream on YouTube is a Paladin stream from the official Paladin's account with less than 3,000 viewers. But most of the streams are people just talking about Mixer shutting down. They're just like, oh, everything's shutting down. It's all going, it's all over, I guess. For the next month or so, Sparks and Embers will be redeemed for double value so you can get back to the creators. Clearly, Mixer got a lot of money, or Microsoft got a lot of money for this, and so they're paying it out as much as they need to use it for. But you basically just have a bunch of people trying to transition people over to Twitch now, which is just really bizarre to look at, other than Smite and Paladins, because they still have contracts to keep streaming their tournaments, I guess, which is kind of amusing. I'm honestly just trying to, I'm scrolling through more reactions to everything. I'm just trying to figure out what to take away from this. The timing of this is terrible. It's a really bad look given that they had literally just tweeted about how they will do better to hold people accountable for the claims of very problematic stuff among the staff in the future, and then immediately being like, we're shutting down. I really think there was some Facebook level, we need to do this now or it's all going to go wrong, lateral move made here, and that's just really, really crappy. And I think the impact that it will have on the people who are suddenly losing their jobs without notice other than a tweet. That's how a lot of government things have gone the past few years. The streamers, the mid-tier streamers who have to move their entire audiences are not going to be super successful at that. Not that there's anything less successful about them, but moving the audiences is a very difficult task, as well as just the general morale of the idea of Twitch needs competition in order to be held accountable, and their one competition just crumbled while trying to be held accountable. There's so much to unpack here. There's so much to deal with. Obviously, Ninja and Shroud have just made bank and are going to retire happy as free agents if they want. A lot of people have a lot of things to figure out, and I don't know. Mixer had a long-running history. I reported it quite a few times on Streamer News, a long-running history of major, basically, infrastructure issues when it comes to their staff in terms of how they treated each other, how they treated partners, and what have you. It seemed like the place that really cared about creators to some people. I never quite figured out why. I think it was just because it was smaller and they were slightly more reactionary to certain things. But ultimately, I never really believed that was the case, and there's not a whole lot of evidence for that. And the kind of way that it shuts down now, even if a lot of the blame is assigned to Facebook, IMO kind of shows that some more. I really see Twitch as being in a position much like YouTube, wherein it's going to be really hard to compete with them. There are no real YouTube competitors. Every time they crop up, they shut down, get bought out, what have you, because they just can't keep up. And anything that does try to compete has to find a different angle instead of directly competing for the exact same goal. And I'm worried that we're going to end up with the same thing here. We're going to have YouTube gaming, we're going to have Facebook gaming, but they're, always going to be lower tiers that are attached to another platform. And I don't know that we're going to see a dedicated streaming service that actually competes with Twitch in a meaningful way and has the same impact as Twitch does. I hope we do. Hell, maybe Ninja can use that $30 million to build his own. That's honestly not enough. But until then, streaming's in a weird spot. Twitch was always a better place to be IMO in terms of viewership numbers. But morale-wise, not necessarily. I got interrupted finishing my video. Obviously, this is a crappy situation all around. I don't care how much you like Twitch or whatever. There's no cheering for Mixer to be shut down, cheering for a competitor to be shut down, or for people to have lost their jobs, or potentially their entire audiences. I know it's tough. I want to do what I can to help, because I know migrating your audiences is tough. I will have some resources linked in the description below, just general streaming resources that might help you. Otherwise, come join us on Discord. I know this sounds super self-promotional. Join us on Discord, and we're gonna chat about the next steps to get you moved over to another platform if you want some assistance. So eposvox.gg/streamguides/discord. Sorry, I am sleep deprived at the moment. We're gonna build up a little chat and get talking about what everyone's next steps should look like for migrating your audience when your streaming platform shuts down. Maybe we'll make another video about it. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more streaming education. I'm your stream professor, EposVox. Good luck, everybody.